it'll be Triple H. It could be
Someone
Vince.
call Vince.
Call Vince.
We need answers. No, don't call Vince. He doesn't give a fuck.
Yeah,
Vince, my language. And anyway, so that match was pretty much a flop.
Bathroom break as one. Actually, not one. Many people would say.
Yeah, that was a bathroom break match. And I didn't even know about bathroom break matches until Illuminati told me about it. But yeah. So that match was pretty much a flop. I wasn't too entertained about that match. But the next one.
The main event.
The main event.
The main event.
And you know what, for this one, I'm going to let you guys introduce it. I'm going to go fill up me and Miguel's drinks. Because this might be a topic that we land on. We're probably going to focus on the most. Because it was pretty much 3 matches. There were 3 falls. And that last stipulation.
Literally lasted an hour or so.
Yeah. And that last stipulation, I love that.
It kind of caught off us guard.
Yeah.
It caught us off.
But let's start with the first. I don't want to spoil it. Let me go fill up these drinks. Guys, start this off. I trust you guys. You don't need the greatest host of all time.
Get out.
Come
on. Wasting time here. What's wrong with you? Anyways, Adam Cole versus Johnny Gargano or Johnny Wrestling.
No, Johnny Wrestling versus
Adam Cole, baby!
Yeah, that.
Let's start off with the first stipulation, which I believe Adam Cole chose. Yes, the classic one-on-one
That was one
wrestling
of the
match.
greatest heel moves ever, honestly. To have a 3 stages of hell match and be like, oh, what's my match gonna be? Oh, a classic wrestling match. Who the hell wants to see that 3 stages?
And honestly, who would have predicted that too? Like, I was actually thinking that it was gonna be, oh, you know what? Let's have a 4-on-1, you know, him having the Undisputed Era versus Gargano, which, honestly, I wouldn't mind watching. I wouldn't mind watching that. An easy pickup win for Adam Cole.
I mean, I would mind watching that because I think that'd be stupid. I mean, think about it. The next match would be a street fight. If the Undisputed Era is gonna be there in a street fight, it was already gonna be 2-0 Adam Cole. So,
heel tactics, he could have been doing that. He could have won. I mean, at the end, he's... Spoiler alert, he won.
At the end, he still won. Yeah.
But, you know, that classic one-on-one wrestling match, it wasn't bad, I'm not gonna say. It was an alright match.
It was a good match.
I know he tried to perform one of your favorite moves. The Canadian Destroyer from the turnbuckle. I know how much of a fan you are of that.
Literally one of the worst moves I've ever seen in my entire life.
Wait, from the turnbuckle? That's bullshit. He literally landed on the floor.
No, yeah, he doesn't go from the turnbuckle, right? He jumps, stops, and then does a Canadian. Literally the
Probably the laziest Canadian Destroyer from the turnbuckle I've ever seen.
Literally the worst. Have you ever seen a Pentagon match? Oh my god, bro.
You know what's funny? That Johnny Gargano literally showed him up during the match by doing an actual Canadian Destroyer from the turnbuckle.
From the top
later
rope?
on, yes.
Yeah. That was
From
funny.
the top, bro.
That's probably embarrassing to Adam Cole. I hope he's embarrassed by that because he needs to try harder. But considering his aesthetic, he is muscular, don't get me wrong. But considering his aesthetic, maybe he's just not confident enough.
We'll talk more about that.
Yeah, that was the last thing.
Once we get to the third match.
The third match.
First match still. I did like when he did the low blow. That was actually I liked it.
Now,
But although
yeah, but the thing is, I'm actually like shocked because from a
that
person,
made it sound so terrible.
from a person,
I don't know what you're talking about.
No, but from a person that's actually done pro wrestling, like when you get hit by a low blow, like now you guys heard this because when we were watching it, you heard the
Yeah, he did.
on a low blow. How?
Why did he do that?
Why would you do that?
Wow. He must have exploded his balls.
Whoa! Oh, yo, I need to take a drink. Hold on, yo.
But yeah, no, that was crazy. And one thing that got me pissed off with that, where'd you go?
Where'd you go, bro?
Who started this, bro? But anyway, one thing that got me a little bit annoyed with that match, and you know how I love saying I'm annoyed. Was all the super kicks, man.
Oh, if you didn't tune into our last podcast, we talked about how the super kick is actually
It's just a regular move.
it's just a regular move, like
It's a strike.
Back in the days when we would watch wrestling, when Shawn Michaels gave that move a meaning.
Yeah, man. And
Just-
it was like, it was a special, man. It
It
was
was
something
a
that
special,
would
man.
knock you out clean.
But now, all of a sudden, now you have guys like Dolph Ziggler just delivering it like it's a regular point.
Speak on why it's a regular move now, because the Illuminati bring up a good point.
Well,
At who's at fault?
it's plain and simple. It's because of the greatest tag team in the world, the Young Bucks.
The
The
revival.
Hardy Boys.
Not Wow, you guys have terrible picks. Because it's clearly the Young Bucks. I mean, there's no other better tag team
The
than the Young Bucks.
competition of WWE.
But I will give them this. They literally pushed this whole super kick party thing into the WWE. Like, it all started with the Young Bucks, and then the Usos wanted to do it, and
Oh
then
my
be like,
Oh, and now the
they have-
Usos are considered the greatest tag team in WWE.
For
Uh,
super kicks.
for
You sure it
super-
wasn't for super kicks or for Jimmy getting arrested?
Oh wow, maybe people aspire to be alcoholics. And
Oh,
drink.
amen to that.
Wow, I'm not aiming into that.
Wow. Hold
But-
up. Let's cheer him anyway.
Cheer
So,
him right
good.
There you
Wow.
go.
He's
Okay.
a part of this.
He's a part of this.
Anyway,
I get
when-
these facts.
So the Young Bucks are at fault for this. I mean, they had a whole super kick party of 83 super kicks. Which
Actually, it's ironic too
was
because
pretty amazing.
No.
83?
83. No, actually, didn't you
That
tell
was
us?
lovely.
No, but didn't you tell us this also that around that time, ironically, wasn't that the time that Adam Cole
Yeah.
joined the Bullet Club?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Maybe this is why
Yeah.
he got so many super kicks in.
There you
You know
go.
what's funny? I think Johnny Gargano actually caught more effective super kicks on Adam Cole than
Then Adam Cole did took on that. I
Yeah,
actually
but I
agree.
think it's because Adam Cole can sell better than Johnny Gargano.
Adam Cole got destroyed that entire match.
Yeah.
It was devastating.
But it's fine because he's supposed to be like the slime ball heel that.
No, absolutely.
Yeah.
I agree.
So-
I agree. Maybe that's why his Canadian Destroyer is so terrible.
Your favorite move, right?
That kills this man. That is destroyed. He was about to leave my house earlier because he couldn't
All
take
right. Well, Johnny
the
Gargano.
Canadian Destroyer.
Johnny Gargano picked up the chair, hit Adam Cole with it, DQ. Next match was a street fight.
That was actually a brilliant move on Johnny Gargano.
Street fight. All of a sudden, street fight means that you go in the crowd for at least 10 to 15 minutes before you catch the pin.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's what's up, man. Yo, that's how a street fight is, man. Come on.
Yeah.
No.
At least go
back in the
backstage.
day, street fights used to be in the backstage area,
Backstage,
the
man.
parking lot,
Yeah.
all that stuff.
WWE, if you're actually watching this, I hope you guys are taking notes because
Take
this
notes.
is what we want.
Smash them into cars, all
Break
that,
the window
all
or
that
two.
good stuff.
Pay some
Run
insurance.
over
We
people.
didn't-
Come
we didn't
on.
see a trash can there, bro.
Nothing.
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 Come on,
Until
bro.
the end stipulation, but there was still no trash can. But
There was no. You're right. You're right.
yeah, street fight.
The street fight.
Yeah.
The Canada street fight.
We've had, the
Hey, you know
typical.
what I really got upset about with that street fight?
What?
Something you pointed out. How fast Adam Cole tapped out.
Oh no! Actually, he pointed that out.
What's wrong with you, man?
Gillard.
Yes, Gillard. Yes,
Gillard.
Gillard. I go through many phases now.
He's now Gillard. He's dropping the mic.
He tapped out so quickly, which I'm actually okay with that. It actually made sense.
But it makes him look weak, though.
Yeah, I'm
Come on.
tired of people making
No.
him look
It
weak.
makes him look weak.
No, it actually makes him look like a slime ball heel because think about it. He won the first match. He already had an
Well,
advantage.
technically, by Gargano choosing to use the steel chair to, get into the next match.
Yeah.
Which gave him the advantage. He let Adam Cole take the win.
Yeah.
So that he could beat the crap out of him with the chair. So
Yeah,
he can get an easy win.
To me, it was a stupid decision. I mean, I play a lot of fighting games, but when I look at the first round, I want to pick up the first round
Of course, yeah.
of anything. And I'm not gonna disqualify myself just to get the upper hand in the second match. I think that's stupid to me.
I guess.
Gargano, what's wrong with
So
you?
I mean, but then again, most baby faces are pretty stupid in the WWE.
Well, some
so.
people, I mean, maybe not me myself, but some people think that was a smart decision because it incapacitates Adam Cole for the next round and possibly for the third round, because in the third round they're both gonna act tired. They're both gonna be exhausted. So at least Adam Cole got so many hits from weapons that it'll be harder for him to pick up the win.
And hell, even Gargano hit him even before the match even started.
And then, but then my counterpoint is just like you said, they're both gonna be tired and both gonna be exhausted regardless. So
I agree. And
and another thing is that you don't know what that third match is gonna be.
Yeah, they didn't expect.
And it's something that
none of us predicted. Exactly.
Well, I did predict it slightly.
Slightly,
Because I said it was gonna be either, I forgot what it was. Well, at first I thought it was last man standing, but I was like, maybe it could be a steel cage match.
Yeah, I don't think it would be a last man standing. It was another whole 3 matches.
Right.
I predicted that it was gonna be an I Quit match,
And which was actually a great prediction. I
because,
actually like that.
I'll tell
That
you
would
guys
be
what
great.
I thought. Furthering on McGiller's prediction was that I thought that if they did do an I Quit match, then Adam Cole would lose, and then all of Undisputed would come out and be like pissed off and everything, and then they all would quit together.
Right.
And then maybe they all get pushed to the main roster
that-
together, and then hopefully me and McGiller's dreams come true, where OC adopts Finn Balor, and then
we get the match we want.
The
That
Survivor
all of the
Series.
universe. Please make it happen.
The OC versus the UE.
That would be
that's
so
a,
fun.
No, that's a toast right there.
Wow, I
That
didn't
is
even-
a toast
I
right
didn't even
there.
realize those acronyms. Wow. Hey, OC versus UE.
Which we've been predicting for.
Trend that trend best sell challenge.
But why don't we actually reveal what the actual match was? The stipulation, the third stipulation.
The third stipulation, spoiler alert, perfect 10.
The chairman?
Oh, wait.
The chairman of...
Ty Dillinger? Oh, no, wait. Oh, sorry,
Wow.
sorry,
Who the
sorry.
hell was Ty Dillinger?
Oh, sorry.
I know.
Sean Spears.
Wow.
There you go. That guy that
The chairman- the
the
chairman
guy
of
that
AEW.
Peyton Royce is dating.
Oh my god,
There you
let's
go.
not say that name because I get... Anyway, the third match was... What do we want... What do we call it?
I don't know what's
I mean,
called.
a
It was
lot of-
hardcore steel cage.
A lot of people were
Yeah.
chanting ECW, so it had to be an ECW steel cage match. There you go.
Okay, I guess...
Makes sense.
Guess
No, I
With,
guess.
with the barbed wires on top. Well,
That was
the fake,
awesome.
no, the fake barbed wires.
Yeah, that wasn't real.
Yeah.
That would have smoked them. But that was an awesome match. I liked how everything was kind of like stuck onto the cage,
Yeah.
and they had to break it off with the zip ties. That was cool. But one thing I wanted to mention was that bag that was stuck to the thing to the cage. I thought that was thumbtacks.
Thumbtacks.
Yeah.
That's,
I would've
usually
been
they
excited
work
if
through
it
that.
was
Yeah.
But it was... Oh god, you know what? I actually didn't like the whole bag thing. Only because...
Of what was inside.
Yes. And then he picked up the pliers and then he was just like, oh, pliers.
Ooh.
Barbed wire.
Barbed wire. Wow,
Let me
that
just...
rhymes. Bars, ladies and gentlemen. You heard it,
Let me
Phil
just grab these barbed wires so I could cut them. Oh, I'm grabbing the barbed wires with my hands.
Yeah, because
You
it's
know,
so
something
real.
that could
I know.
actually make my hands bleed like crazy if
I
I
know.
touch them.
I know he was, his theme for his whole attire was Wolverine, but did he really believe he was Wolverine? By grabbing, like
The claws stuff.
the claw. Did he really believe he was Wolverine?
I want to say this though. That outfit was freaking fire.
Gargano.
It was a
Shout outs to all the Marvel.
So
attires that he's done in the takeover?
No. I don't agree with that. Everything else was trash. This outfit was sick. Still didn't want him to win.
Yeah.
I didn't want him to win.
You should have seen this guy. He was cheering for his costume, but he wanted him to lose.
The little claws on the wrist. I'm gonna buy those. They should sell. WWE sell those. I'll buy.
They're
highly
not
they're not
selling-
gonna do
not
it.
selling any of that stuff.
You
I
have to make
promise.
that yourself.
Way to kill my dreams.
Yeah, dreams destroyed.
Wow.
Vince McMahon.
Not like Velveteen Dream. That's a dream that will live on forever.
Yeah, that was awesome.
But
I love those.
but yeah,
No, that outfit was
No,
awesome.
but just seeing that the steel cage, the way they set it up, it kind of reminded me of that ECW Elimination Chamber match that they had a long time ago. With
You
the
know
weapons on the cage and everything.
Yeah,
You know what? I'll do you one better. It actually reminded me of a recent match that happened. Not recent, but like 1 or 2 years ago. That Ambrose Asylum match.
Oh, the Ambrose Asylum.
It had.
What? Wait, was Mitch part of that?
Was
Was Mitch or that? I could have sworn I saw Mitch.
Wait, Mitch probably was part of that.
He most likely, yo. Shout out to Mitch at Get These Facts NYC.
I think there was. You know what? I think yeah.
Mitch was part of it. Mitch was part of everything.
You know what?
He's part of every single
say
podcast
that.
we
Let's
have.
say that. Yeah, Mitch was part of it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it kind of reminded me of the Ambrose Asylum match.
And
where
not
the-
Massacre Mitch that's been trending on Twitter.
Wow, that was off.
All right. So anyway,
Anyways,
it
let's
reminded
talk-
me of that.
Yeah, let's
all
talk
the weapons
about-
on the
yeah.
cage and stuff.
I'm actually surprised because, you know, I'm glad that Triple H put the sledgehammer. You know, he
Yeah,
had more
yeah.
than one sledgehammer
That
out
was
there.
awesome. That was
Yeah.
awesome. But Johnny didn't even get to use it. He tried.
No, he did use it.
No, he tried and
No,
Adam Cole
he
super
did.
kicked him.
No, he did use it.
He used it.
He used it.
He used it.
He used it. He hit Adam Cole.
You correct us here in the comments.
Yeah.
please,
Correct us in the
because
comments.
I don't
correct-
believe McGillard. He's a liar. No. Okay, excuse me. Gillard. He's dropping the
There you go, much better. But no, he did use the sledgehammer, and that kind of gave Gargano the time to set up what was actually the next thing in that match with the ladder and the 2 tables.
Oh yeah, I want to talk about those 2 tables.
Yeah.
Because what was that?
No. Before that, we have to talk
About your favorite move.
We have to go back to the Canadian Destroyer.
Your favorite move. Yeah.
Oh my god, man.
Especially off the ladder.
Off the ladder.
Okay, wait.
That was amazing.
No, before-
It
That
was
was
the greatest
amazing.
thing Adam Cole has ever
Adam
done.
Cole, you are the best.
Yo, before he goes on the top rope. He goes on the top rope, jumps, stops, does the Canadian Destroyer. After that, he's like, oh, there's a ladder there. I can get up on top on the ladder.
Wait, not even all the way on top. Just halfway. Just a little something.
He gets on top of the ladder. I'm like, what? I'm wondering, what the hell is he gonna do on top of the ladder? Oh God, please let it be anything else except the Canadian Destroyer. He gets up. He looks all ferocious. He's like, yeah, I'm gonna get him. I'm gonna get him. What is he gonna do?
Land
Jumps.
on the floor.
Land on the floor to do a Canadian
You know
fucking
what?
Destroyer.
Watch your
Hey,
language.
watch your language. Come on, man. You know what?
I am
That move,
so
you know,
sick of
Adam
that
Cole,
move.
you
Watch
inspired.
your
No,
mouth.
no.
I am
Adam Cole,
so
you
sick of
inspire
that.
me so much. I'm gonna find a ladder.
I'm gonna.
I am so
McGillard,
sick of that move.
this is not time for the best sell challenge. You're fucking.
I am so sick of that move.
You're fucking out, bro. This is not time for the best sell challenge. Sit back down with your Adam Cole shirt. You're freaking out.
Adam Cole, this is Undisputed Era. Correct me.
Yeah, let me go get my Adam Cole shirt, who's actually an Adam Cole shirt, who's the only champion in Undisputed. So that shirt is irrelevant. But I do want to get that shirt that says gold, baby, gold. That shirt is fire.
That shirt is-
I don't want to see a shirt from that guy anymore.
After the Canadian Destroyer?
Yo, that really hit you, didn't it?
Someone really needs to take the title away from that guy.
Wow.
Actually, that kind of.
You're an a-hole.
No.
No?
That kind of wants me to ask the question. After Adam Cole beats Gargano, spoiler alert. Who do you think the next opponent is gonna be?
Wow.
Because I predicted that it's gonna be a returning Tommaso Ciampa.
Yo, first of all, I'm the one who said that. No.
I think we all
I
said
hope
that.
it-
We all agreed that.
We agree.
Yes.
I hope it is.
Alright.
I hope it is, because if you guys look at Tommaso Ciampa's Instagram or any of his social media, Tommaso Ciampa is getting even bigger than he's been before. This guy, every time he comes back,
Which is even crazier.
oh
because
my gosh,
He's always getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger
and better.
and I think the injury, you know,
Only helped him get bigger.
exactly. Only
Nothing
helped.
can stop
Actually,
this guy.
both injuries. The first injury, he got hurt, and then when he returned, he already came back jacked. And now you can imagine what this injury.
Yo, my gosh. He's gonna be huge.
He's gonna be the next Goldberg, but
I've been-
better.
Yeah, bald and everything.
Well,
I've
way
been
better.
I've been watching him and following him on a lot of his social media accounts, and he shows himself working out and doing a lot of these extensive workouts. And it's amazing to me how you could be injured and get bigger than you were before the injury. I don't understand what these guys go through, but I think Tommaso Ciampa is probably one of the most inspirational wrestlers as far as working out and being, bodybuilding and being healthy and things like that. That I really commend Tommaso Ciampa, and I think as much as I love Adam Cole, I think one person that I wouldn't mind taking the title from him would be Tommaso Ciampa, and maybe he's not the next person to fight Adam Cole.
Yeah.
But I think he's the ultimate person to fight Adam Cole, where he would be the first person who, or the only person who can take it from Adam Cole and send him to the main roster.
Yeah.
I think that would be a perfect setup.
I agree, honestly. Because Tommaso, he was even offered a contract for the main roster.
Mm-hmm.
Denied it.
He didn't want it.
He wants to stay in NXT.
I agree with him.
I
Because
agree with him
NXT just you have so much
too.
more
I agree with him too.
more push, and once you get to main roster, you're just stuck in the locker room.
Yep.
But then again, at this point, like we've been saying, with Vince wanting to take part of NXT, I mean,
It might ruin his career, so he might want to just go to main roster anyway.
No, because I'm pretty sure he's only gonna be a slight influence.
Right.
on
Well, I want to say one thing before we end this, because we're coming to the end of this video, and I want to say one more thing. We saw something drop a few minutes ago, maybe an hour ago, because we've been recording for a while, showing us a clip from in-show, from TakeOver, where after the match, after Adam Cole won, and I want to talk about the win a little bit real quick before we go into this. Basically, they climbed up to the top of the ladder. They got to the platform, which was basically a table set between the ladder. This was a terrible ending. But they just threw themselves. Johnny Gargano cut barbed wire and had it in his hand
fake
for
barbed wire.
fake barbed wire. Absolutely no reason. He literally didn't use it or anything. Adam Cole went to the top and got to the platform, which was a table set between the two parts of the cages. And it was just so obvious. You know, I'm really hoping that WWE can kind of lead up to those big moves that they want to make replays out of more realistically, make it seem more like it was something on the verge of something else happening and it just happened coincidentally, instead of something that's being set up so obviously, it's so predictable. But basically what they did is they went up to the platform and they didn't even do a move. They literally just jumped off together into the two tables that were set up in front of the ladder that McGiller just mentioned earlier. And they missed the first table and only hit the other table. So I'm glad that none of them got injured.
But then again, I can understand, both of them setting up the two tables just in case, what if they set up one table
And they
what if
missed
they missed?
No, I agree.
Yeah.
But I think they should have pushed the tables a little further if they knew that they were gonna jump that far. But still, overall, I think it was a pretty bad ending because it should have been at least a suplex or some kind of move, at least instead of just a jump.
No, even landing on the table, that's kind of like career ending.
Or maybe something else, maybe even a spine buster, just anything. These guys literally locked up like it was the beginning of the match and just threw themselves over, and it was a little bit boring to me. I think they could have done something a little bit better. But anyway, going into what I was leading up to. Illuminati was searching up some news before we started recording, and we saw a video posted by some fans where Johnny Gargano posted he came up to the top of the ramp, and William Regal came out and he embraced him, right? And William Regal basically was like not cheering him on, but like giving him a hug and things like that and embracing him. And it kind of seemed like this was the last night for Johnny Gargano.
Oh, his farewell match.
So maybe this was his farewell match, and maybe he's being finally drafted to the main roster. And maybe this was actually there was a reason behind him losing this match instead of winning, was actually because he's gonna go to the main roster. And we wanted to mention this a little bit because maybe this is the reason why Adam Cole is keeping it. Maybe Tommaso will take it from Adam Cole because of this and meet Johnny Gargano to do Johnny versus Tommaso 5,
Right.
like you were mentioning, but on main roster.
On main roster, yeah.
Because they do promote they do put out 5-star matches. So therefore, this might be a better thing to push out on main roster than NXT.
Yeah,
because,
on a bigger platform.
because
Right,
ratings
yeah.
on that big platform is doing so bad,
Yeah.
and even ticket sales are doing so bad on that platform. So maybe they're banking on Tommaso versus Gargano 5.
I mean, I hope they think into the future like that. Probably Triple H is thinking into the future like that.
I'm pretty sure he has
But,
some influence
yeah.
on Vince at this point.
Hopefully.
He is his son-in-law for so many years.
And it's actually funny you mentioned Triple H too, because we read an article a few days ago where Triple H, he was interviewed,
Mhm.
and he was saying how nobody knows who's going to be the next person in charge after Vince's time is
Right,
up.
right. He was saying that anybody could be in charge. It's not necessarily him and things like that. But knowing WWE, McGillard, I want to propose this to you. Maybe you agree, maybe you don't, or maybe Illuminati can pitch in on this. But I think knowing WWE and how they push into storylines, maybe that was just a work as well. Maybe Triple H knows he's gonna take over the company,
Yeah.
and he's kind of just
Yeah.
kind of creating suspense by making us believe that maybe it could be someone else. Because when you look at the statements in those articles, it seems as if Triple H is kind of just pushing it but doesn't believe in it, and his statements are really bland and kind of blanket statements. They're really vague. They don't really explain anything.
You know why? I think. You know what? It actually sparked to me. You know why he says stuff like that? Because there actually are people that could take over.
Right.
Think about it. Paul Heyman,
Mhm.
Eric Bischoff, Triple H, Stephanie McMahon, Shane McMahon. It could be any of those people.
Even more
Could
genetic.
It could be any of those people, but
It's definitely gonna be
The-
Triple
wait,
H.
wait.
And you heard it here first. I get these facts analyzed. Who the hell
No,
is
no, I'm not gonna say.
don't
No, I'm not gonna.
no. Anyway, let me continue.
Who is this man?
I think that's bullcrap. I think Triple H will definitely take over. That's no question.
But if
about
let's say Triple H does take over after Vince is done, who's gonna take over NXT?
I still think Triple
You
H.
still think Triple H is gonna take over?
Either that, or he's probably just gonna give it to William Regal.
I think William Regal will do it.
He's earned it. He's definitely
And
earned
you know what's
it.
funny? Even if he doesn't give it to William Regal, I think even Vince showing that he can spread himself so thin and work upon multiple networks and work upon multiple shows, and still kind of push for this XFL thing. Once XFL releases and all these other movies, like these things that have been coming out on NXT, on Netflix, with the whole Big Show thing going on.
Oh yeah, when he's gonna go.
Well, it's
no,
a Big
yeah,
Show.
no, that's crazy. Yeah, when he's gonna go heel on his family on episode 2.
So too. So look forward to that. But anyway, but yeah, I think if Vince could spread himself so thin, then Triple should be able to do the same thing. And
Definitely.
if Triple takes over the
Definitely.
company, then he could definitely still run NXT. And at this point, he's been running it so long that he could probably run it with ease. So it
Of
probably
course.
wouldn't be so bad. But thank you guys for tuning in again. I just want to come to a close real quick and say,
Wait, before you come to a close, the Adam Cole's next opponent, if it isn't Tommaso Ciampa, who would you guys want it to be?
that's a hard
Aside
decision.
from feuds or anything, who would you want it to be?
That's such a hard decision.
Honestly,
because
it's actually funny you mentioned that, because I actually believe that it's what we've been saying earlier in this video, that Roderick Strong,
right.
he ends up trying to
Roderick
plot
Strong.
to take over the Undisputed Era and
Gillard.
overthrows Adam Cole. From
That-
Gillard, ladies and gentlemen.
That's a good.
This man
that's a
always
good-
has the predictions.
Okay, next, who do you think would be?
I have to agree with him, but if I want to choose someone else,
Go ahead, choose someone else.
Not
actually, it's gonna take me a lot more thinking than
No, I guess no.
I'll break it down a little
Well,
bit.
Michael, we could agree that it's definitely not gonna be Matt Riddle.
No.
Oh man, 'cause
Matt
you know,
Riddle
it's-
versus Adam Cole is like
it's-
Matt Riddle
it's-
versus Johnny Gargano. It's terrible.
It's so hilarious
No,
because
Matt Riddle's too big.
that was my pick.
Screw you.
Bro.
Anyway, I want to elaborate why I don't think it will be Matt Riddle though. Is because we have people like Keith Lee, Matt Riddle, And you know what's funny? It just hit me. What the hell happened to that big tall guy, Djokovic, or whatever his name is? They were pushing him so hard and he just disappeared. But I don't think any of these big guys will be put against Adam Cole because I think it will actually be matches that aren't entertaining. The chemistry won't be there, and the size difference will kind of make it seem a little bit weird. And even Matt Riddle, he's so big, and I think that he's such a strong style wrestler that someone like Adam Cole won't make or produce a good match with Matt Riddle. So I don't think they will put him against Matt Riddle.
I do believe that they, from the days in Ring of Honor, they definitely do have good chemistry. They could definitely produce good matches.
Possibly. I just think people like Keith Lee, Matt Riddle, Djokovic, all these big guys that they've been pushing, I just think they won't produce good matches with Adam Cole. But like I've always said before in these podcasts, I'm not too big on indie. McGillard and Illuminati will know a little bit more about indie than I do. So I didn't even know Matt Riddle has fought Adam Cole before. So if that's true, maybe it will be Matt Riddle.
Hopefully not. Hopefully not.
Come on, man. Bro,
we did start this podcast.
The guy can produce amazing matches. The guy can produce.
His feet are disgusting, and I don't want to see it.
You guys,
listen. Well, that's what makes a super kick. That
but let's say
the stink foot, not the super kick. The stink foot.
Comment down below, guys, if you believe that Matt Riddle could be the next opponent for Adam Cole, or if you believe that Matt Riddle could be the one to retire Brock Lesnar.
No.
And just comment below and tell us who you think would be the next opponent for Adam Cole. Tell us anything that you think about this video. And tell us if you want to see Illuminati more, because we love when he shows up. This guy always has great opinions and great thoughts, and a lot of facts to provide. I love to put him on the spot because he gets a little uncomfortable.
That is not true.
But
I get uncomfortable when I see Matt Riddle.
His feet,
I get uncomfortable. Definitely.
No, when I see Adam Cole doing stupid Canadian destroyers.
That was the best Canadian destroyer I've ever seen in my life.
Highlight of the entire show.
Entire NXT.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, it made it the best match of the NXT.
Why don't we just close this? No. Let's close this. Let's close this out in a very entertaining way.
This is in tribute to Illuminati, especially because this is his favorite guy of all time.
It's a friendship that will never ever end.
Anyways, guys, I want
cut the camera off. Cut the camera off. That's it. We're done.
Yeah,
We're done.
This is the greatest.
The greatest
We're
thing.
done. Cut the camera
Where's
off.
yo, Mike? Toast to that. Yo.
Cut the camera off.
Firefly Funhouse is the greatest theme of all time.
Cut the camera off. Right now.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in to.
What are you doing?
Whoa!
Yo, what are you doing?
That's it. We're done.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in to GTF Wrestling Podcast. This is the famous McGillard.
And your boy, the greatest host of all time, your famous host, the best host of all time.
Alright, enough of that. And
Michael Malachi.
And
Michael Malachi!
Okay, and the almighty. Wow.
Firefly Funhouse, man.
Good night, ladies and gentlemen. Good night.
Thank you for tuning in. Tune into our Best Sell Challenge videos on Instagram.
Tune into our Instagram at Get These Facts NYC, our Twitter at That's a Whole Fact, and tune into our podcast at Anchor at Get These Facts NYC. You could catch us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Radio Podcasts, Breaker Podcasts, anything you like. Just click the link in our bio in our Instagram to see our YouTube videos, our Anchor podcasts, and everything else that you want to see. And please, make videos for that Best Sell Challenge, guys. We'd love to see you soon. We'll see you at the next video, and thank you for tuning in. McGillard, hit him with the line.
Good night, everyone, and God bless.
Real facts, honest opinions.